Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Together for LA's webinar series. Today's topic is Grow with Google. Get your business on Google Search and Maps workshop. We thank you to everyone that is joining us this morning as part of the webinar series. We would like to thank our partner that has joined us this morning, and we have a very special guest speaker from Google. I am Angela Amarkanian, Program Manager for the Los Angeles County Economic Development Corporation's Together for LA program, also known as LAEDC. For those that don't know, LAEDC is a 501c3 nonprofit organization who is a public benefit organization whose mission is to champion equitable economic growth across the Los Angeles County region. Today's webinar is brought to you by one of LAEDC's small business programs called Together for LA, which is a strategic partnership whose mission is to strengthen and support women and diverse-owned small businesses in LA County as we strive to recover from the economic crisis wrought by the COVID-19 pandemic. No-cost technical assistance and connections to small business resources are made available by a generous fund we've received from Wells Fargo. So we'd like to give a very special thank you and recognition to Wells Fargo for their partnership. Like I mentioned, this is a strategic partnership in collaboration with the partners that you see logos up on the screen, including the LA Chamber, the Dr. Lucy Jones Center, LISC LA, ISD, as well as City and County of Los Angeles. I would like to introduce you to our website. If you have not already visited, it is basically our business resource hub that we update on a daily basis with small business resources and grants and programs as they come up. We have an easy to use and filter system where you can narrow down resources based on your business type or the type of resource you're looking for. So please take advantage. There's various grants, funding opportunities, accelerator programs that are available to you to please take advantage of. We provide no-cost technical assistance to businesses of all sizes and industries across LA County. So I would love to introduce and offer to please get in contact with us after the webinar. We will be in contact with you directly to schedule some further time to have one of our technical assistants, regional managers connect with you and further have an in-depth conversation and assess areas of need that we can assist you and connect you to resources. And these are just some of the areas of expertise, including workforce training and development, business plan writing, digital presence, social media tips, tools, access to capital, financing resources, and so on. We have various connections all across LA County that we've established to benefit small businesses. And this is basically how we operate. If you're interested in any workforce resources, we can connect you with your local AJCC or ETP funding. If you're interested in energy efficiency programs that you might not know of that are specific to small businesses, we'll connect you with Southern California Edison or the gas company and so on. Another great resource that we're really stressing right now that's relevant is our COVID-19 employer portal for industry guidance. So this is also a resource for employers during COVID-19. We understand that there's so many new regulations and mandates that are coming up. So this website really introduces up-to-date information. So please visit saferatwork.ca.gov to get the latest and best practices for specific industries and locations related to COVID-19 compliance and safety. So please take advantage of this as well. All right, now for the reason that we have all gathered this morning, our presentation topic is a workshop style presentation that will be on how to get your business on Google Search and Google Maps by an expert that has joined us from Google. So I'd like to introduce you all to Israel Serna. Israel is a speaker and trainer with Google's Grow with Google program and has spent the last 15 years working in various roles within the public and private sector across various industries, including SBDC, the Specialty Coffee Association, Constant Contact, and many more, while all along serving various multicultural communities along the way. So I'd like to introduce you all to Israel. And Israel, thank you so much for your partnership and for joining us to share your expertise with all of our attendees this morning. So
Thank you,
let
Angela.
take it from here.
Excellent. Thank you for that introduction and welcome everybody. I'm so happy to be here with you this morning. I wanted to just take the time and appreciate the time and effort that you are putting towards your business this morning. Angela, if you can just confirm that my screen is visible, that will give me the green light to get started.
Absolutely. Looks great when you're ready to go.
Awesome. Excellent. All right. Well, welcome everybody once again to this morning's webinar titled Get Your Local Business on Google Search and Maps. So for those of you that are not familiar with the Grow with Google program, I'd like to just share with you that this initiative with Google is a program intended to help entrepreneurs and businesses like you to expand your presence online. And we do this with workshops like the one you are attending this morning. In today's workshop, we're going to show you how to set up, verify, and manage your business profile on Google. This is about a 45-minute presentation. We will take Q&A at the end. I do want to preface it by saying before I get started that business profiles on Google are intended for those businesses that count with a brick and mortar location or are a service-based business where you are meeting with customers in an hour or you have hours of operation, okay? Basically what this means is these profiles, as you're gonna learn throughout this presentation, are not beneficial or not intended for businesses that are exclusively e-commerce, okay? Again, the title of the presentation is Get Your Local Business on Google Search and Maps. And so as you will see, the tool is intended to help you get found by local customers and local prospects, okay? If you're interested in learning more about the Grow with Google program or access additional resources that Google has made available, I invite you to go to grow.google/small businesses to learn more. Now, before we get started, I also want to take a quick poll, and I'm going to ask Angela for her help here. In a moment, you are going to see a poll appear on your screens. In the poll, or the poll question that you will see shortly, I'd like to just get to know a little bit more about your business, specifically to learn if you and your business have already claimed your business profiles on Google. So Angela, if you can help me by launching the poll. The question is, have you claimed your business profile on Google? The answers are yes, and you use it often, so that's good. You may be here to learn maybe some best practices. Also, yes, but I need to learn more best practices. I often find that businesses open up or claim their profiles, but don't know how to update it, don't know how frequently they should be updating, or maybe don't really understand the full benefits of these profiles. Then the last option is no, you're not familiar perhaps with what a business profile is, don't know how to claim your business profile, and so you're here to learn more about that. And that's going to be perfect because I have some great intel for you as well. So let's give it a few more seconds. Angela, maybe if you can tell me what percentage of the audience has participated, and then we can decide when to close the poll.
Thank you, Israel. We'll leave it up for a couple more seconds. I see that everyone is participating, so thank you.
And again, this is just going to be very helpful because if there's areas that I need to emphasize, depending on your question, I'm more than happy to sort of tailor the presentation as we go. Great. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and close the poll and then share the results, Angela?
Sure. So we are seeing that 0% answered yes and use it often.
Oh, okay.
We had 83% participated, so 26 people out of 31. We have 42% that answered yes, but I need to learn best practices.
Okay, great.
And the highest answer was 58%. No, here to learn all about it.
Perfect. So then that's great because that means that today's presentation is going to be very fitting and there's going to be a little bit for everybody. So thank you for that, Angela. So today's agenda, real quick, we're going to divide the sections into 4. We're going to spend the first few minutes explaining what a Google Business Profile is, what it includes, and where it appears on Google search. Next, we're going to review the steps to creating and verifying your free business profile. Again, this is a free tool. Third, we're going to discuss how to manage your business information and show you how to make updates. So for that 48% of you that have already claimed your business profile and are looking for best practices, this section is definitely going to be for you. And then finally, we're going to wrap it up with a quick recap, and then I'm going to highlight some additional resources that Google has available for small businesses. So what I'd like to do next is play for you a short video. This is a video showcasing a real client, and we're going to learn a little bit more about the benefits that they are seeing from their business profile on Google. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play, and then I'm going to turn off my camera so that way you guys can get a better view.
My name is Vince. This is my shop. I opened Village Tailor and Cleaners in 1977. I arrived in New York 4 years earlier from Italy. It was me, my brother, my mom, and my dad. My mother taught me how to sew. When I opened the shop, the first person I hired was my mother. This is Bruno, the store mascot. My little advertisement. As a business owner, you're always thinking, how can you do better? I noticed that customers come in with the clothes in one hand and the phone on the other, always looking up information. So I said to myself, we have to put this store online. Google lets me decide how the shop shows up. I pick photos, I can post special hours, anything. I made this website in 10 minutes using the website builder. And I'm not kidding. Now people walk in and I'm always asking, how did you find us? They used to say, I saw Bruno, so I came in. Now they say, Google. Believe it or not, we're up 30% this year. We're doing enough business, I had to hire more tailors and get some new machines. I've got 3 shops going. And my son, Vincent Jr., is running one of them, the Village Cobbler next door. I'm in an old-fashioned profession. I work with my hands. I hadn't thought much about putting the business online. Now, I couldn't be happier. Village Tailor, 40 years and going strong.
Excellent. I love sharing that video because it we can all relate to what Vince went through, right? With starting our business, growing our business, but more importantly, the benefits of having a digital presence online. And that's what we're going to talk a lot about today is, what is the benefit to even having a business profile on Google? So to start, let's take a quick look at what a business profile on Google looks like. So if you are not familiar with what a business profile is, on your screen, I'm sharing with you what a business profile and how a business profile appears. In this particular case, we're looking at it from a mobile device as it would appear, which is where the majority of searches are happening these days. Now, there's a lot of great detail to these profiles, like being able to showcase your name, your location, and your hours, right? So these important details about your information so that people can learn and discover your business. Now, in addition to this, some of the additional features that I find that are extra beneficial are the ability to add and upload photos and videos to your profile, which will help customers get a look at your store or your products before they visit your store or before they buy from you. The other is reviews. So I'm very passionate about reviews, and you're going to hear about that a little bit later. But reviews allow people to see what others are saying about your business. And I think this is very important right now especially as the trust economy continues to expand, okay? And then you'll have the option to also include quick links. So depending on how you set up your business profile or the type of business that you're running, you're going to be able to include quick links for folks to be able to call your business, to get directions, a quick link to your website. Often, this may even be a quick link to an appointment or a bookings tab, okay? So you'll be able to edit, okay, and have all of this information appear on your business profile. Now, let's talk about the importance of appearing on Google search. It's important because that's how many of your customers and prospects are searching for your product or service, okay? So often in my presentations, you'll hear me talk about how our customers these days are well researched, okay? Chances are that when a customer calls you or decides to visit your store, the likelihood of them knowing something about your business is very likely because we're doing research around your business before we go to your business, okay? These days, consumers are very conscious of how and where they spend their dollars. And so business or customers want to learn more about their business. And what you're finding is that we're doing a lot of window shopping online. We're doing price comparing online, and we're reading reviews online, okay? So again, the biggest benefit to a business profile is that your business profile would appear on Google searches when somebody is looking for a service or product related to your business, okay? Here on your screen is yours seeing how a business profile would appear on a desk or a mobile device, a desktop or a laptop, okay? Now, in addition to the importance of appearing on search, it's equally important for your business to appear on Google Maps. And this is because more and more we are conducting searches on our mobile device. So prior to the pandemic, I was traveling a lot for work, and I'm actually a big specialty coffee aficionado. So I actually would love to go visit new coffee shops in a new area, or if I found myself in a new city. Now, for me, in that scenario, I would rely on my mobile device and I would do Google searches for local cafes, okay? And so this is how the bulk of our customers are looking for us online. Now, one of the most frequent questions that I get is, how does Google decide what to display or when to display my business, okay? And there are many signals that Google considers, but today I'm going to highlight 3 signals that Google factors when it needs to decide whether or not to display your business, okay? So the first factor is relevancy, okay? How relevant is your business to the search or the query being conducted, okay? So if I found myself in downtown LA looking for a specialty coffee shop, Google's not going to show me pizza parlors, okay? It's going to show me or do its part to scour the internet or locally around me and display coffee shops, because remember, Google is in the business of looking and helping its customers to find relevant content, okay? The second factor that it's going to consider is the distance, okay? So automatically, Google is going to recognize that I'm conducting that search result, or that search query, I should say, in downtown LA. So it's going to show me by default cafes near my vicinity, okay? So distance is the other option or the other factor. And then third is prominence. And this is gauged by how well known the business is based on information Google can find across the web. So this is why it's important for us to have a website, for us to have social media accounts, and for us to be able to hyperlink as many of those accounts back to our website. Reviews are critical, okay? So what are people saying about our business, right? Do we have a lot of customers talking about us online? So again, relevancy, distance, and prominence is what Google considers, or the factors it considers when it decides whether or not to display your business. Now, on your screen, you're also seeing that these business profiles will automatically adjust themselves because it's going to recognize the type of device that the user is using to conduct that search query. So Google and the Google business profiles automatically do this for you. So this is something that you don't have to worry about, but I'd like to call it out because you may be curious to see how your business profile would look like on a mobile device versus a iPad, for example. And so again, the system is automatically going to recognize the device being used and automatically adjust itself so that it provides a positive user experience. Okay, so to get started, there's a couple of ways, okay? So one is to go conduct a Google search and see if there's already a business profile that exists. If you find that there's already a business profile for your business and you haven't claimed that profile as yours, you would essentially go down and find this section in that profile and click on claim that profile, okay? You're then gonna be prompted, and you're gonna see in a few minutes, to enter some information so that you can claim that business as yours, okay? So that's step number one, is just go online, go to Google, and conduct a search to see if a business profile already exists. Now, with all Google products, okay, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute, you're gonna find that you're gonna need a Google account, okay? So if you found that there is no business profile, okay, you're gonna go to google.com/business to get started. And like, as I was explaining, when I talk about any Google product, it's important to note that you do have to create a Google account to access all of these Google tools that I'm gonna be able to cover today. Now, one question that I often get is, do I need a Gmail account to open a Google account? And the answer is no. My recommendation is that you use an email that you're going to either be able to check frequently and that you have access to, because Google will communicate and will be sending you reports on an ongoing basis around your business profile. So it's important that you use an email that you're going to have access to and that you're going to check frequently because of what Google is going to be communicating with you on an ongoing basis, okay? So if you are going to claim your business, you found that there's already a business profile, you would enter the name, and this is where you would begin the process for claiming your profile. If you find that there isn't a profile, you would just need to select the add your business to Google, okay? So this is the step number 2 for finding and claiming your business. Then you're gonna be prompted to build your business profile. Now, for those of you that already have a business profile, just bear with me for a couple minutes while I get the rest of the folks who aren't familiar with this process up to speed, okay? So within the steps to setting up your business profile, it's going to ask you to confirm the name of your business. Again, make sure that you're using a business name that you are comfortable using, because this is what Google is going to use in your business profile and the business name that it's going to showcase when people are looking for your business, okay? You're going to then be prompted to select a category for your business. If you find that there's no categories that exactly fit the description of your business, I would select the next closest, because there are areas within the dashboard where you can customize and let Google know, add additional categories so that Google can learn more about the category that your business fits under, okay? So for now, you enter your business name and then select the closest category associated with your business. Now, step number 4 is important because this is where, for example, if you are an at-home business, okay? If you are operating your business out of your home, you know, we strongly recommend that you don't publish your home address, because again, this is going to be discoverable on Google, and unless you want people showing up to your front door, we highly recommend that you hide your address. And this is that step where you're going to be able to do that. Now, for those of you that have a brick and mortar location where you actually do receive customers, you're going to want to select yes under this category, okay? For those of us that are working out of our home, for the time being, we're going to select no, okay? Basically, what this is going to do is, for those of you that have a brick and mortar location, you're basically going to let Google know, I want to publish my address, okay? For those of us that selected no, we're still going to want to enter our address because part of the verification process is that Google's going to send us a postcard. So Google's going to want to know where to send that postcard. By selecting no, we're just letting Google know that we don't want our physical address being showcased on our profiles, okay? So again, you would enter your address here in this step. And then if you are a business, for example, we saw that early on in the pandemic, a lot of restaurants, for example, started to offer delivery services, okay? You can actually let Google know if you cover a specific area for delivery. Let's just say I'm also, to give you another example, let's say I'm a plumber that operates, technically my office is out of my home because I'm traveling all the time. So in that instance, I would have previously selected no, that I don't want my home address to be published, but I do want to let searchers know the area of service that I cover within my plumbing business, okay? Now, for the different areas, you can be as specific as include zip codes, you can include a list of cities, or you can even include counties, okay? So this is where those of us that work out of our home, this is where we would customize the area or the service area where we provide service, okay? This is an important step because often when I'm doing audits, I find that a lot of small business owners who operate out of their house don't realize that their home address is published. And I always recommend that you avoid that and instead have it so that Google will display a service area, okay? You're gonna enter your business information as well as a link to your website, okay? This is, again, still we're in the setup process. And then when it comes to verifying your business, okay? All of us or everyone is gonna get the option to receive a postcard by mail. Depending on how you set up your business, you may also receive your verification via phone or by email, okay? So this is all gonna depend on how you set up your business profile. It takes about 7 to 14 business days right now to get that verification code, okay? Just know that within that time frame, when you're waiting for that verification code to arrive, your business profile is still gonna be public for people to see. It's just gonna show as unverified, okay, for the time being. Now, in addition to the categories, previously you would have selected a category associated with your business. You can also add details such as adding the types of services that you offer, okay? So this is where you would include all those additional services. Include the business hours of operation. And I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this slide because I have a second slide talking about business hours later. But this is where you would let Google know your office hours of operation. You would be able to then enable for the messaging tab feature to be enabled. And I highly recommend that you do this because a lot of customers, instead of calling you or emailing you, are now using the messaging tab to reach business owners, okay? You'll have the opportunity to write a business description, which you would have 750 characters. I'm gonna talk a little bit about business descriptions later and then give you some tips on what to include in this section. You'll be able to upload photos and videos. Videos can be up to 30 seconds, and there's so many benefits to having videos on your profile. Oftentimes people think that 30 seconds isn't a lot of time, but I'll tell you that there's a lot that you can convey within those 30 seconds. And I have some good tips for you later on the type of content that you should be uploading to your business profiles. If you are using Google Ads, you can also connect both the systems so that way they can talk to one another, okay? So again, your business profile is gonna be public while you wait for that verification code to arrive. Once you get that verification code, you would log back into your dashboard enter the verification code, and then from that moment on, your profile will appear as a verified account, okay? So that's the setup process. Let's talk about what you can do or how you can edit the business profiles after you publish, okay? So Google actually just released a new feature. So you can actually now edit your profile directly from Google search. Now, the caveat here is that you would need to be logged into your Google account, and then you would be able to search for your business. And then if you are logged in, you're going to see a little section here that says edit the profile. Okay, so that's one way for you to get to your profile again once you've logged off. And within the editing features, so you're going to be able to edit things like your business hours, your business information. You'll be able to add products, add additional services, and then add photos. So this is all within your editing dashboard, okay? So again, you're going to have complete control to edit your profile even after it's published. Again, here, in case you need to edit your business name for whatever reason, if you need to change the category or add additional categories. Now, I do want to caution you here, because when I am conducting audits, one of the things that I find is that business owners, because you do have the option to add up to 10 categories, business owners think that they need to add 10 business categories. And if you're selecting categories that are not associated with your business, because maybe somehow in your mind you think, well, maybe if I add more categories, that's going to help me appear in search and more searches, that's actually going to hurt your profile, because you're only going to confuse Google as to when it should or should not display your business, okay? So just because you have the option to select 10 categories doesn't mean you need to use up 10 categories. I would select only the categories that are related to your business, okay, or that are important for your business. Now, within the description, one of the things that I highly recommend is that you take your time with its description, because remember, Google is paying attention to the keywords that you're using within the description. So one of the things that I recommend is that every business owner should have a list of 10 to 15 keywords or phrases that are associated with your business, so that Google starts to recognize those keywords and starts to associate them with your business. I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm a coffee shop owner and I specialize in Mexican coffees. In my description, I could tell searchers that my cafe carries and specializes in Mexican coffees, so that if somebody is searching for those keywords, Google is going to know that it should display my business because that's what I offer. So the descriptions, I think oftentimes business owners either don't pay too much attention to it, or they just don't think it's valuable. I'm here to tell you that it is very valuable and that you should take your time with the description. If you're a family-owned business, I would include that in your description, okay? What I would avoid as well is, this is not a section where you're going to want to get promotional, okay? And what I mean by that is, this is not where you're going to want to offer people 10% or, ask them to join you on other social media platforms, because there are other areas within the platform where you can create posts to do that type of promotion, okay? So here, you can edit your phone numbers. You can actually add up to 3 phone numbers, include your web address, your website address as well. Here, you will be able to edit your location. So again, if you are a service-based business like a plumber, this is where you would add the counties, the cities, or the zip codes that you service. Now, another thing that I'm going to caution you on with this section is, when I am conducting audits, I find that a lot of businesses who operate remotely, like myself, or, I find that they're trying to trick the system. And what I find often is that they technically will say to me, well, Israel, technically, because I am remote, I can work with anybody anywhere in the country. So I'm going to add all 50 states as my service area, okay? I'm here to tell you that's actually hurting your profile, okay? So remember, the whole objective of these profiles are for you to be able to be found locally and not nationally, okay? So when you do add all 50 states, remember now you're competing with all search traffic in all 50 states, and you're only hurting the chances of you appearing locally, okay? I would recommend that if you are a business that can work with people out of your state, I would focus this area of your profile on the counties around you. And then in your description, I would let people know that you also take clients outside of your county, that you work with people nationally, because if you do include all 50 states, that's only going to hurt the chances of you appearing on local searches, okay? Now, when it comes to your business hours, this section became uber important, or has been very important in the last 2 years. And this is because many business owners early on in the pandemic either had to modify their hours, change their hours, or extend their hours. And currently, well over 40% of searches online these days are people going online wanting to verify the hours of operation of a business. Again, 40% of local searches are searches for people wanting to verify if a business is open for business or what their new hours are. So this whole section gives you the opportunity to take control over the hours that Google's going to display around your business. So I would take the time, especially for those of you that have had a profile for a while. Maybe one of the first things that you do after this call is you go and confirm that your hours of operation are still accurate, okay? In addition to the business of hours of operation, you're going to find that you have the ability to add special hours. And this became important early on, again, in the pandemic, because we found that some businesses were opening up early or extending their hours for senior citizens. So if that's the case for you, I would go in and add that information to your profile. You could even highlight, for example, hours for like happy hour, or maybe you have special hours that for delivery. You can spotlight those hours underneath that section. You will also have the ability to add and showcase your products. And I encourage you to upload your product catalog, because this is only going to increase your chances of appearing not only on search, but on the images and shopping tabs within Google search, okay? So you have the ability to upload your catalog, your products. For those of you that are a service-based business, where, for example, maybe you don't have a physical product, but maybe you offer like ebooks or courses online, you can still showcase those products within your business profile. So this is, again, is a service section. This is where you can get super customized. And this is where I would spend some time letting people know exactly what makes you stand out from your competition. Because if I'm a shoe repair shop that specializes in, let's just say, in heel repairs or something of that nature, this is where you're going to want to let Google know what other services or what makes your business stand out from the competition. When it comes to photos and videos, you, again, will have the opportunity to upload photos and videos to your profile, but also your customers will also be able to upload photos and videos. And I actually think that this is a huge benefit, because within the marketing space, you may have heard in the past people talk about user-generated content. Basically, what that means is that this is a customer who's taken a photo of your product and uploaded to either their profile or to their social medias to talk about your product, okay? Remember, it wasn't long ago that we would make fun of people who would take photos of like latte art or take photos of their food. And we would make fun of those people, right? Now it's like second nature. I mean, I do this all the time, right? I take photos of my food because I want to let people know how beautiful it looks or how awesome that latte art looks. And so by allowing your customers to upload photos and videos to your profile, this in many ways is an opportunity for you to see how people or what people are saying about your product or service. And in some cases, I would even reach out to that person and say, hey, thanks so much for that photo. It's a beautiful photo. Would you mind if I repurpose that photo on my social media? And I will be happy to give you credit on the photo. So this is another way for you to be able to source content for your own social media, okay? Now, other tips when it comes to photos or videos is that we love before and after photos. We love before and after videos. So if you are, for example, like in this case with this shoe repair shop, you're seeing the before and after photos. This is the type of content that people want to see, or the type of content that we are expecting to see now from our favorite brands. I would turn that video on your phone and turn it around and videotape yourself giving a behind the scenes look at a recipe that you're working on, a behind the scenes look at how you're repairing that leather bag. This is the type of content that we're liking these days, and it's just one easy way for you to just engage with your customers, okay? So I would encourage you to take advantage of this section by either sourcing photos that your customers are uploading or by creating your own content. So there are a number of other ways for you to be able to post, or a number of other ways for you to showcase your products or services on your business profile. This is how and where you would be able to edit. Let me spotlight a couple of those for you now, okay? Before I do want to mention that within the business profile dashboard, you're also going to be able to access your performance metrics, okay? I talk about this and I like to highlight this because it happens with websites and it happens with our profiles online, is that sometimes we feel that just because it's up, that it's done, right? And the reality is, like our websites, our business profiles need our attention. We need to measure and really come to understand what these metrics mean for our profiles, okay? So if you're finding that your profiles aren't getting the engagement that you expected, maybe it's time for you to work on some posts. Maybe it's time for you to let people know that your profile on Google is up and running, and encourage people to upload photos or leave you a review. So by having access to the performance metrics, this is one way for you to get to understand how your business profile is being used. Okay, so when it comes to promotions and posts, you will be able to post promotions and things like that on your business profile. And these work and look very similarly to how your other social media platforms function. Within your business profile on Google, here are just three ideas for the types of posts that you may want to consider, okay? One is an update post on maybe new hours or a new yoga class that you're offering. This is where you're going to want to use this to update people on the fact that you're reopened or that you have a new happy hour, etc. You can also create offers within your business profile. And what I like about these offers is you can actually add an expiration date to create some urgency for people to want to use that coupon or take advantage of that offer. And then you can also create events. Now, this could be you promoting a yoga class, a soft opening, a product launch, things like that. So again, remember when I was talking to you guys about the description and I said, I wouldn't waste that valuable real estate space for promotions. That's because you have this whole other section within the business profiles to get promotional. Okay, now there's two ways to engage with your customers via your business profiles. One is through the messaging tab, which I talked about a little bit earlier. And then the other is through reviews, okay? Now, I can see some of you, even though your cameras aren't on, but maybe getting squirmy around the idea of like reviews, and that's okay. I find that a lot of businesses get intimidated by reviews because one of two things. One, they either forget or don't know how to ask for reviews, or two, they don't know how to engage with reviews, okay? I'm here to tell you that your time and effort, or if you take the time to ask for reviews and engage with your reviews, it's gonna pay off, okay? I find that a lot of businesses, like I said, don't know how to ask for a review, okay? And so if that's your case, I would take the time to learn and maybe build a script for yourself, reminding you to ask people to leave a review. And that could either be in person with the follow-up email or with the message, okay? Asking them to leave a review. Now, when it comes to responding to reviews, there's many ways that you can go about reviews. And the number one question that I get is, Israel, I don't like this section because I don't like seeing when somebody leaves a bad review. And the reality is that we're gonna get positive and negative reviews. My thing is that as a business owner, you should acknowledge them regardless if they're positive or negative, okay? Now, let's just for a moment talk about positive reviews, okay? I find that a lot of business owners don't even take the time to thank the person for the review. So that's step number one, is making sure that we acknowledge the positive reviews, that we thank people for taking the time. If it's a not so positive review, okay, we're not just gonna wanna ignore the review, okay? I would encourage you to take the time in a professional way and try to either mitigate the situation offline by leaving a comment like, thank you so much, would you provide your contact information so we could discuss this in further offline, or address it online. Because the reality is that our customers, when they are reading these reviews, they're not just looking at the negative reviews, right? We're taking it all in. We're factoring in both the positive and the negative, and then taking the collective reviews and making our own decision, okay? I personally like when I find that a business owner is actually responding to reviews, even if they're negative, I see that as a major positive, okay? So again, if you aren't taking advantage of asking for reviews or not engaging with reviews, I encourage you to do that because it does pay off, okay? Now, with the messaging tabs, one of the biggest benefits to this is that because we're so accustomed now to texting, to WhatsApp, things like that, you're gonna find that a lot of customers just wanna send you a quick message because they have a quick question, okay? So this is one way for you to help mitigate those frequently asked questions and be able to respond and get to customers quicker. So I encourage you to enable the messaging section of your profile just so that you can get ahead of that customer service via your profile. Again, so this is the dashboard for your business profile. We've covered a lot of this, okay? I do want to spotlight that within your business profiles, you can select these business attributes. So if you are a veteran-owned business, a Black-owned business, women-led business, you can actually you can highlight that within your profile, okay? In addition to, if your business is wheelchair accessible, these are all things that you can add to your business profile. If you have a team that helps you manage your online presence, whether that's a social media manager or a business manager, you can actually give them access to your business profiles. And I would encourage you to do that and maybe divide and conquer the task, right? Maybe if you're a business owner, you're gonna give access to your front of the house manager to respond to all customer inquiries, to reviews, to make sure that the business hours are up to date. Maybe you have a son or daughter that's helping you manage these profiles. You can give them access and make them users and give them different types of access within your business profile. So within the Insights tab, and this is, so Google does two things. So within your dashboard, you're gonna be able to measure the metrics of how your business profile is being used. So you will actually be able to see how many calls did my business profile generate this month? How many people have visited my website by clicking on my business profile? You're gonna be able to see that type of metrics and that type of insight. And they actually will send you a monthly recap with your activity. So these are just some bonuses when it comes to having those insight tabs. So we have about 10 minutes left. My recommendations for you or next steps, especially if you haven't claimed your business profile, is to go to google.com/business and get started with that. And then for those of you that already have your business profile, is make sure to keep these 3 things in mind, okay? Make it a habit of reviewing and updating your business information, add photos and videos, and create posts. And last but not least, let's make sure that we're exploring and paying attention to the insights of that section. Last but not least, some additional resources is that Google does provide you with a marketing kit. So you can actually download a marketing kit so that you can create these graphics, either for your social media or for your brick and mortar location. You can actually print reviews or identify yourself as a Black-owned business, or even point people to your business profile so that way they can leave reviews. So I would encourage you to download this marketing kit. I personally love the branding. I think they did a really good job, and the templates are very, very easy to use. So with that, Angela, I don't know if we have some questions, if you can help me with the questions or any comments that you want to add.
Thank you so much, Israel. First and foremost, that was excellent. It's so great to know that there are no cost tools and tips and techniques that are available for all of us to use at any time. So I really encourage everyone to really take advantage of it. These resources are more important than ever, as we all know that we're not able to do business the normal way. So it's very important for people to be able to find you online. Whether you do have e-commerce or not, it's digital presence is more important than ever. So please take advantage. Please get in contact with Israel as well if you'd like to connect with him. Google has many, many programs for small businesses available. So thanks for sharing that. These are available at our fingertips to take advantage of and at no cost. It's also very encouraging that so many questions come in during the presentation, which means everyone was paying attention, which means the topic was very valuable. So I know that we're coming close to an end. I did want to also reassure everyone that despite a lot of information being shared, we have been recording and we will be sharing the recording on our website. I'm going to drop in the link to our upcoming events calendar. There is another event coming up later on this month. So as you register for that, which is with the City of Los Angeles on their upcoming small business programs, there's a past events, past webinars button. So that's where I will put up the recording of this presentation. So let's go ahead and take some questions. We have quite a few. The first question is, do nonprofits count? So I believe someone is asking, are nonprofits able to put up their information on Google? Absolutely,
100%.
But I'll let you share a little more.
100%. Yep. So just like small businesses, and I should have mentioned that in the beginning. So nonprofits are able and have access to creating business profiles as well.
Thank you so much. Someone is asking, I'm a home-based travel agent. I don't necessarily want my home address advertised, and I don't really have set business hours. Will a Google business profile work for me?
Absolutely. So I talked a little bit about this earlier. So there are ways for you not to publish your home address and instead cover a service area, right? So there are businesses that, for example, only operate by appointment only. So if that's the case, you can identify as an appointment only business. But with the service hours, so technically, right, I'm pretty business basic, that maybe you're a 9 to 5. So even if you don't have a set hours of operation, maybe you may consider some, or just say by appointment only.
Okay, thank you so much. Can you have a Google Voice number on the page? If so, can you have multiple Google Voice numbers, one for personal and one for business?
You can have up to 3 phone numbers. Some people choose to post their cell phones. Other people just have, their Google lines. Some have business lines. It's really going to be up to you, but you can have up to 3 business profiles.
Thank
mean,
you. That's
three
a
phone
great-
numbers. 3 phone numbers.
3 phone numbers. Thank you. An attendee would like to know, we are a health center providing primary care, dental, vision, and behavioral health. But my department handles small businesses, free tax prep, and financial empowerment. So they want to know, should different departments create their own business pages, or does it need to be one entity?
So I would probably, in this case, do the one entity, and then within the description, let people know that you offer a variety of services covering health, small business, unless, and this question comes up with, like, for example, these food establishments that have multiple restaurants in one place, right? Those types of establishments usually have like unit numbers for each of the sections. So you would be able to create in that case, because you are a unique business. You would be able to showcase your business address and your unit number, but still show up under the fact that you're in this, establishment.
Thank you. Israel, back to the phone number question. How are messages received? So if someone has a Google line, how are they able to check the messages? Is it through the Google Business app, or do you get an email?
So when the person clicks on the call number, it's going to generate a call directly from your phone. So that's just going to be your landline calling the other landline. And so from that point, it's off the Google's hands. It's basically just facilitating the ability to have that number. Instead of you having to jot it down or retype it, clicking that button is basically going to dial for you. And then Google does capture the number of phone calls that button generated. It's not going to capture the phone number. So you're not going to get a list of phone numbers that called you at the end of the month, because that's not what it's intended to do. It's just tracking how many calls your profile generated.
Thank you. We have a couple questions regarding rankings.
Yeah.
2 attendees want to know, does interacting with reviews, like you mentioned, responding, affect search rankings?
Not necessarily the responding. I mean, that's going to help you with getting people to convince people to come and buy from you, right? So remember, you responding isn't really about the person who left the comment. It's really about your future customers, right? To see how you handle that review, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for your rankings, reviews definitely does help. So I would, do a mix of those. Also, I often find that people, like, on their social media profiles, forget to include a link to their URL or to their website. Google factors all those things, like who's talking about you, where are people finding you. So the more you can spread your awareness of how people can contact you, the better.
And what does affect rankings?
So there's like 200 signals. There's a ton of signals, right? It's all going to really factor in by location. So even like if you and I were conducting a search right now on the same thing, yours is going to be very different than mine, because I'm in West Hollywood and you are, I think you're in the Valley, right? So they would factor in differently because of our distance, right? Google's gonna, unless you and I, for example, were searching for the same thing, with the city, then it's similar,
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. That's actually very, very insightful. And Israel did put in his email address in the chat. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to contact him directly. We are coming up close to 12 o'clock. So I just wanted to mention again, I did drop in the link to our upcoming webinars. We do host webinars each month on various topics. The purpose is to provide small businesses with resources that are available that you might not necessarily be aware of, just like today. So please take advantage of our upcoming webinars. And we have a contact us button on the website. If anyone wants to send us an intake form, give us a little bit more information about the scope of your business needs, someone will get in contact with you. But even if you don't do that, we have a technical assistance team that is very one-on-one and interactive with businesses. So they will be in contact with you after this webinar in order to do a further needs assessment. So with that said, I would like to thank Israel once again. Thank you to Google for your partnership. That was very, very interesting, insightful, very helpful. And thanks for letting us know that these resources are available to us. Thank you to all of our attendees for spending an hour with us. I hope that was of value to you, and we hope to see you at the next one. Have
Thank you,
a
Angela.
wonderful rest of the day and wonderful rest of the week, and we are together for LA.
Love that. Bye for now.